Hello, hello, hello. Let's get some music playing while we're waiting for people to join me. I do not have the rights to this music, but I'm feeling a little victorious today. Hey, Enoch. Make sure you share this to your page and say hi so everybody knows that we're going live. Just a little Kirk Franklin, a little victory to get us started today. Hey, Ruma, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. How are you? How are you? This is another one of my my favorite songs. So I have this playlist that I listen to in the morning. So when I get up in the morning, I have a little practice that I do. Let me turn the music off. It's trying to distract me now. So when I first wake up in the morning, before my feet hit the ground, I say a surrender prayer. I say the prayer of Jabez, that God would expand my territory. And then I read my affirmation, like it's a dissertation of everything that it is that I'm desiring and wanting and believing God for, and knowing is going to come my way. And so I have this playlist that I listen to when I'm walking my dog Latte in the morning, and Victory and Blessed and a lot of different songs are on there. And I listen to these songs because most of us have ish coming at us all the time, right? To live in this world. I mean, I don't know about you, but our society, our country is just in a space of extreme turmoil right now. I belong to the Women Presidents Organization, which is an organization for businesses that are at least at $1 million. And so I'm sitting around the table at our meeting on Tuesday with a bunch of, highly successful women that are just angry because of everything that's happening right now in our country. And so I wanted to go live today. I like to go live on Wednesdays. I call this Grow Your Business Wednesday. So we're going to talk about things to do to move your business forward. But I want to have a really serious conversation with you today, because here's what I need you to know. Number one, time is waiting for no man. Like, I don't know about you, but I promise you, I feel like we just said Happy New Year, and it is October the 10th, right? It is 10/10/18. I got married on 11/11/18. So I'm like literally a month away from my 1 year anniversary being married, and time is moving. We all have goals. We all have dreams. We all have plans. We all have desires. We all have things we want from God. And if we are not careful, we will miss them. Simultaneously, we're in the fourth quarter, right? You probably have seen any and everybody in the landscape that is, a life coach, business coach, helps people better their lives and their situations, talking about the fourth quarter and how many days we have left before this year is over, right? You've probably seen that, right? You've probably yourself have been feeling a little anxiety because you have goals that you set in January that you have yet to realize. So I wanted to have a real conversation with you today. And I'm going to just ask, first of all, thank you, Sue. Hi, Aisha, Shamita, Junior, Enoch. Thank you for being here. Share this to your page. I want you to share for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, you know people that I don't know that I should know. But more importantly, you know people who need to hear what it is that I'm about to share. When I'm doing my devotions and prayer every morning, I'm praying and I'm asking God, what would you have me to say, and whom would you have me to say it to? So what I'm going to share with you today, it has been given to me by God, and I want to release it to you so that you can set yourself up to change your life. Here's what I need you to know. And some of you saw my post that I made last week. I think it was last week or maybe the week before. I was talking with a client at the time who was in a space of despair, feeling stuck, feeling broken, feeling like they were a failure, feeling like nothing that they were doing was working, and just at that point where they were ready to give up. And God said to me, he whispered so sweetly in my ear, I'm not in this. I don't get the glory for this, right? Which prompted the post. How does God get the glory if you're stuck, if you're frustrated, if you're broke, if you're broken, if you're in a relationship that doesn't honor all that you are, if you're working a job that you hate, if you're in a business that you don't love, how does God get the glory? And the answer simply is he doesn't. So today I want to have a very real conversation with you on October the 10th, as we round out 2018 and prepare for 2019, because you need to have a reckoning. Someone needs to talk to you about what you have been doing and how it's not serving you in the best possible ways for God to get the glory, right? I hope you know everybody who is attracted to me is God-focused, heart-centered, mission-driven, desiring to serve at the greatest level. They are people who want to shape the planet, right? You want to make an impact. You want to impact the world and make it better than you found it. That's who you are. That's who's attracted to me. That's who's in my community. So if you're watching me right now, if you're watching this in the replay, you are here because all of this matters to you. And because time is not waiting for no man, we all need to realize the importance of three things. And those are the three things that I'm going to share with you this October the 10th in this fourth quarter. These are the things that will position you to make a comeback in the fourth quarter. So here's what I know, and you've heard me say this before. God is not a God of withhold. He's not a God of withhold. Hello, 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 those of you who are here. God is not a God of withhold. Will somebody comment that for me? And if you're not commenting it, it's okay. But can you just allow that to seep into your spirit? God is not a God of withhold. So the things that you don't have right now, God is not getting any glory from you not having them, right? If you know anything about the word of God, and I'm speaking specifically about the Bible, although the Torah and the Quran make references to these very same principles, that God exists and created all of this for you to experience abundance and for him to get the glory. He wants to draw more people to him. And so everything that he does is designed to draw people in, to bring more people closer to him. So you being broke, you being in lack, you not having the things that you want is not, God doesn't want that. God gets no glory from that. So for those of you specifically who are entrepreneurs, I want to share with you how my life began to change, how my business began to change, how I started to line up the things that I wanted, that I've been praying for, that I've been asking for, that I've been journaling about, that have been on my vision board, because I took these 3 steps. And if you ask me, this is how you make a fourth quarter comeback. This is how you set yourself up to build a business that serves you and rewards you financially and spiritually. This is how you shake the planet. And if you are out there and you want to shake the planet, I want you to comment right now. Yes, Darnyelle, I want to shake the planet. I mean, just think about that. Because see, here's the thing. Time is up for being a fad. It's not about being a fad. It's not about being the next cute thing. It's about being a phenomenon. It's about being something that people can't go without, right? Those of us who have our own businesses, those of us who want to do work to change the lives of people, it's about being a phenomenon and not a fad. It's not about doing what is popular. It's about doing what is going to make the difference and shake the planet. It's not about being a popularpreneur, right? It's about shaking the planet. It's about positioning yourself to do the work that you love so that God gets the glory from it and you get the results of the glory, right? So you've probably heard the concept from glory to glory to glory. Have you heard that? Like, I have chills right now thinking about what it's like to go from glory to glory to glory. And I want you to imagine in your business, what would it look like to have a business that goes from glory to glory to glory? Well, here's what it's going to look like. There are three things that you must shift today, October the 10th. You need to shift these 3 things so that you can position yourself to experience a fourth quarter comeback and set yourself up for the best year ever in 2019. Did you know that 19 means surrender? 18 was all about really lining up, right? And getting the clarity that you need. That's what 18 is about. But 19 is about surrender, throwing your hands up, right? I did it. I had my clients in town last week for our business building retreat. And every single retreat, we talk about spiritual alignment and what it looks like to be in spiritual alignment, what it looks like to see your life, to see your business, to see your marriage, to see your children, to see yourself the way God sees you. Because when you see yourself the way God sees you, you're in alignment, and everything you want will be magnetized to you. So if you don't have the things that you want, because God is not a God of withhold, if you don't have the things that you want, there's something in you that is out of alignment. But I want to help you to get back into alignment. Okay. So here are the 3 things that you need to do right now in this 4th quarter today in order to get into alignment, so that the things that you want, the things that you pray for, the things that you're asking for start to show up in your life, because God is not a God of withhold, and he is not a respecter of person. So if he can make it happen for anyone, he can certainly make it happen for you. I love the examples. There was a point in time in my life where I compared myself to other people, where I would look at their day 30 and compare it to my day 1. And then I would feel like there was something wrong with me. Can I keep it real with you? Is it okay if I keep it real? And that was very, very real for me up until probably about 2 years ago. And every once in a while, I find myself slipping back into this space of comparison, and I have to pull myself out, because I realize there is no comparison. If I just stand flat-footed, boldly in the gifts and talents that God created me with, and do the work, use the skills and the savvy that I have to serve those that I've been called to serve, there is no reason to compare myself to anyone else. But when we are in a comparison mode, we are out of alignment. If you're constantly looking to the left or to the right to see what other people are doing, you're not in alignment. Because if you would just see yourself the way that God sees you, you would be in alignment, and the things that you want will come in, right? You would experience everything you want. So a few years ago, I made a non-negotiable decision. No matter who might feel some kind of way or feel offended, I'm not responsible for someone taking offense to me making a bold declaration for the things that I believe in, right? I decided that I was going to stand firmly and flat-footed in God, in leveraging the power that he is in my life and how he makes everything happen. And I started to come into alignment with the way he saw myself, right? And that's when my business took off, right? That's when my husband showed up. That's when the dream house hit the landscape. That's when the bank account started to overflow, because I got into alignment. So I want to help you today get into alignment, because if you truly want to make a 4th quarter comeback, it is only going to happen if you're in alignment. And when you're in alignment, you will be able to shake the planet. So hello to those of you who just joined us. Those of you who will join me in the replay, make sure you #replay so that we know that you were here. And do me a favor and share this. Please share this. Thank you to those of you who've already shared this. Please share this. And as you share it, don't be alarmed or concerned about whether or not people, believe what I believe. Here's what I know. I know that even for the people who aren't ready to call on the name, they're ready to experience. They're ready to feel something different. We live in a society, we live in a world that is extremely angry. There's a lot of fear going on. There's a lot of distractions occurring, right? I jokingly say that the reason why, jokingly but not really jokingly say, the reason why Trump is our president is so we can pray more. Like, there's this amazing awareness and awakening to God. I don't know if you've noticed it, but there are a lot more people declaring and professing the God in them and doing it openly. And the reason why is because we're in a time and space where all we have is our faith, and God works through faith. And so if we really want to experience a 4th quarter comeback, then we've got to do these 3 things. And let me jump into them. I keep starting to tell you the 3 and then I get sidetracked. So let me tell you what they are. Tell you how you can apply them, and then I'll bring this all around as we prepare to close our time together today. So again, those of you who are just joining me, hey, I'm Tisha, hey, Jacqueline, hi, Scylla, how are you? Hi, Vel, Sharmika, how are you? Today is all about the conversation we need to have in order for you to get your life, for you to not only make a fourth quarter comeback, but to have a comeback for the rest of your life. Who could get excited about having a comeback for the rest of their life? If you could get excited about only coming back, no more setbacks, only coming back, I want you to put that in the comments for me. Darnyelle, I'm excited about only comebacks. So let's jump into the 3 things that you need to do to truly experience a comeback. And, disclaimer, full transparency, this is not going to be business growth strategy, but it will grow your business. I am the first to declare and profess that you cannot have a booming business when you have a busted life. You cannot have a booming career if you have a busted life. If your life is not right, you will cease to get the things that you desire. Getting right, booming is about being in alignment. So I want to talk to you about 3 things you need to do to get in alignment. Number 1, you got to see yourself the way God sees you. Somebody put that in the comments for me. Only come back, Jacqueline. That's what I'm talking about. Put that in the comments. See yourself. I know, Tish. See yourself the way that God sees you only. What would God say about you, right? When you stand in the mirror and you look at yourself, whether you're the weight you want to be, when you look at your business, when you look at your client roster, when you look at your marketing efforts, what are you saying to yourself? Are you saying what God would say? Or are you saying what you would say? Because there's no way that God would ever speak about you that way. So number 1 is to see yourself the way that God sees you. Somebody put in the comments for me right now the way God sees you. I want to read that. Like, I can't get caught up in that right now because I'm teaching, but I want to come back and I want to read that later. How does God see you? And does it not give you chills and just boost your energy and help you to vibrate at a higher level to think about yourself the way that God thinks about you, right? He says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. What would your business look like if there were no fear? If you were not afraid to pick up the phone and to have the conversations you most need to have with the potential clients you most need to have them with, how would your business be different? Number 1 is to see yourself the way God sees you. This is the answer to getting in alignment. Now, there are a lot of people out there talking about alignment because, like I said, there's such an awakening going on because of what's happening in our country. The turmoil that we are under right now is causing people to go inward. We've got to find strength somewhere. We need to identify who our source is and where our help comes from, right? Right? I love what Alicia says. He showed me a noble princess in the kingdom of heaven. Don't just believe the word, but ask him. He will show you. Amen. You are a crown of jewels, Sue says. Like, I have chills when I think about seeing myself the way God sees me. That every little dimple in my face that he created with craftsmanship and precision, because he knew that when I smiled, I would light up the world. He made me brilliant. He made me savvy. He gave me skills that solve real problems for people and help people to experience abundance in every way. That's the way God sees me. God doesn't see me as failure, in failure, or experiencing failure. He only sees me as learning and winning, right? What would happen if you saw yourself the way God sees you? That's number 1. Number 2 is you have to surrender. You literally have to throw your hands up. I think the perfect example of surrender is when someone is getting arrested. And if you've ever been arrested, I'm not going to ask you to comment that in the chat, then you know what I'm talking about, right? So the first thing they tell you to do is they tell you to put your hands up, right? Hands up, right? Your hands going up is demonstrative of surrender, of saying, I'm not going to try to get away. I'm not going to pull a gun. I'm not going to do anything that could harm me and create a situation right now. I surrender. I throw my hands up to you. When your hands are in the air, God is free to move. He is free to do whatever he wants, right? Because when we're in control, our fists are balled up and God can't get through that. He can't make your business what he's always seen it as because you're in the way. So you've got to surrender, right? So that's the first thing that happens. The cop says, hands up, you're under arrest, or stop right there, or whatever he says to surrender, right? And then they have you put your hands behind your head. And that's an opportunity for them to search your person, to see if you're carrying anything, right? And in this instance, I want you to allow God to search your hearts and to remind you of your purpose, what it is that you are here to do. You are here to shake the planet. Somebody hashtag that. Hashtag shake the planet. That's what you are here to do. Shake the planet, to create such an amazing impact in the world that lives are changed. I remember that song. I think it was the late 80s, early 90s. The men all pause when I walked into the room. Y'all know that? The men all pause when I walk into the room. Y'all, you know that song, right? So here's the thing. When you are a planet shaker, somebody hashtag planet shaker. When you are a planet shaker, everyone will pause when you walk into the room, because they know that their life is about to be changed, and that will happen when you surrender, when you throw your hands up and you say, God, I trust you. I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to jack it up, but I trust you, right? I trust you. That's number 2, is surrender. Number three is to operate only in faith. Focus only in faith and in victory, right? DJ Khaled said it best. All I do is win, no matter what. You got to focus in faith. You know why? Because God works through faith. So if you see yourself the way God sees you, if you enter total surrender, total praise. I remember that song. I think it was Richard Smallwood. Lord, I lift my hands. I lift my eyes up to the hills. I'm getting the words all wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You know total praise, right? And it's the part where you do the amens, and each section does the amens, right? That's the song I'm talking about, total praise. That's what surrender looks like. It's allowing God to be the CEO of your company. So I made a decision just recently that I'm not the CEO of my company, that God's the CEO. That God is the CEO. I think I'm going to be the talent, and maybe I'll be the COO. Maybe I'll be the COO, the Chief Operations Officer, but God will be the Chief Executive Officer. And so what that means is I have to consult him. Like, he's got to be sitting right here with me at all times. I've got to always have my hands up and open so he can have his way. I have to cease to allow what I see to hinder what I believe. I have to declare what I want, stand boldly in what I want, have faith that I will get what I want, and watch him work without getting in the way. That's surrender and faith, because God works through faith, y'all. And if you really want to come back, if you truly want to come back so that your life goes from comeback to comeback or glory to glory, then you have got to make the decision now. I think it's Dottie Peoples, the song Testify. For God I live, for God I die. Somebody ought to testify. I love music, if you haven't caught that yet. I love music. Music is the highest way to shift your vibration and to get back into alignment. It's the fastest way to shift your vibration and to get back into alignment with God, to see yourself the way that God sees you. It's the fastest way. And here's what I know. When I took these 3 steps, I watched my business change. I stopped chasing the number. And the most interesting thing is we're still doing extremely well, but I'm not focused on the number. I'm focused on God and making sure that he be glorified through me, through the way I show up for my clients. You know, I've always loved God, right? Inwardly, but I wasn't really big outwardly until 2014. I pray with my clients. One of my clients, Dr. Stephanie, she's up in New York. She's going to be going to Dubai to speak in November. She's booked like 3 or 4 international keynotes, which I think is awesome. And she sent me an email yesterday, and I just felt the need to pray, not just for her, but with her. I stopped what I was doing. I picked up the phone, I called her, and I prayed with her. Before I have coaching calls with my clients, we pray. We go before the Lord, because God is the CEO. Because I'm focused on being in full surrender and in total alignment, seeing myself the way he sees me. Because see, the way he sees us is that we will be in the perpetual state of praise. Now, even Jesus came down off the mountain. So I'm not trying to suggest that you become a cliche that you become the girl who or the guy that walks around, well, how are you? I'm blessed and highly favored. No, because that's cliche, and nobody believes that for a minute, because your life is cantankerous often. But instead of speaking the words, let's just let your actions speak for you. Let's just surrender. Let's just let God have his way. Because here's what I know. If he's having his way, you will have yours. Nothing will be left out. Nothing will be left out. And so as I started lining up in this way, as I started declaring boldly that this was going to be the way that I lived my life and ran my business, I've seen the most amazing things happen. I've seen opportunities just show up. Like, how did I get on their radar? How did they find out about me? Right? The clarity with which I'm able to create has been amazing. And the ability to still run my printing press out back and to run it all the more, to be able to generate at every turn, is amazing. Right? So I just want to encourage you right now. Like, when I think about the fourth quarter, when I think about the best months ever in my business tend to happen in the fourth quarter of the year. I just want to encourage you to do these 3 things. So let's do a quick review. And if you have a question, put your questions in the comment. I'd love to take some questions. Round out the time. Someone asked earlier in the chat, Darnyelle, how can we work with you? So I also want to talk to you about how you can work with me before the year is over. So I have 2 opportunities for you to work with me before the year is over. So I'll talk about them in just a moment as well. But let's do a quick review. So the first thing was what? To see yourself the way God sees you. If you truly want to make comebacks only, right? Hashtag comebacks only, right? If you truly want to make comebacks only, then you got to see yourself the way that God sees you. Number 2, you have to surrender, right? If you want to hashtag shake the planet, you got to full surrender. And here's, I didn't say this, but I'm going to sidebar this. So this is the bonus that goes with surrender: forgiveness. Who do you need to forgive? What unforgiveness is standing in the way of you having everything that you want? God does not get the glory if you don't have it all. And that's whatever all means to you, because all means something different to every single person, right? But there's forgiveness work that needs to be done in there too. So who do you need to forgive in order for you to truly unlock the blessings that you want? To unlock everything that you're wanting, to unlock your 6-figure cash flow, those of you who want 6-figure cash flow. And know that a 6-figure business is entirely different than 6-figure cash flow. Ask me how I know. It's entirely different. It's game change. It's next level. It's God as the CEO. That's what happens when God is the CEO. You experience avalanches of abundance. That's what happens when God is the CEO. That's what I love. I just love the thought of that. Just think about an avalanche, right? You all know, maybe have even seen an avalanche, and imagine that avalanche being one of abundance. Ooh, does that not set your spirit on fire? To fire yourself as the CEO and hire God as the CEO. And here's the cool thing about God being the CEO. You're going to tithe, like, to pay God as the CEO of your company. That's just your tithe. And your tithe goes wherever you get inspiration. Whomever inspires you. If I'm having lunch with you and you bless my spirit, you'll get a tithe from me. I tithe everywhere. When I'm in the supermarket and I'm checking out and they ask me, do I want to donate $1 to the children's network or whatever the case might be, I tithe. I give every chance I get. I give scholarships to all of my events. I give. I'm just a perpetual giver because God is the CEO. He's my provision. And I'm not chasing the number. I'm focused exclusively on God. I'm talking about a comeback, a real comeback, not a comeback that only happens in the fourth quarter. You hear me? I'm talking about a life comeback. I'm talking about positioning your life to be all that you put on your vision board and literally being able to check things off on your vision board because they're happening because you see yourself the way God sees you. Because you've entered total surrender and you've forgiven where you need to forgive. And you are operating only in faith. There is no fear. I had a conversation yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, today's Wednesday. yesterday with a new person. He is allowing me to become his client. Like, this guy is amazing, does amazing work, and he only works with 5 clients a year. And in 2019, I get to be one of his 5 clients. I'm so honored. He invited me to hire him. And when he told me what the investment was, he was like, do you have any questions? I was like, no. Like, I invest in myself. I play big. My budget is exponential. My budget is a kingdom budget. God is the CEO of my company. Fear doesn't live here. We only play big because all we do is win. We do what we need to do to impact those we need to impact. We shake the planet over here at Incredible One Enterprises. We shake the planet. If you are playing big, you will shake the planet. And I promise you that can only happen if this is first. Part of the reason why I changed the live event, I used to do a live event about marketing and sales. And the reason why now I do a spiritual alignment incubator as my live event, Breakthrough in Business is a spiritual alignment incubator. It's 3 days with me and you and God, and a reckoning for your spirit and your soul. So that when I teach you the business building strategies you need to unlock 6-figure cash flow, you can actually do them. They'll actually work for you. Because you don't need another strategy. What you need is an encounter with God. What you need is to get into alignment. What you need is to see yourself the way he sees you, to surrender fully and to operate totally in faith. That's what you need. And then you'll watch everything else come into view. And I didn't make this up, right? I'm speaking Matthew 6:33 for those of you who know the word. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things, not some of the things, not things only on Wednesdays, not every other thing that you want, but all things shall be added unto you. So if you're seeking him first, if you're seeing yourself the way he sees you, if you're in full surrender and you're operating only in faith because God works through faith, the word says that without faith it is impossible to please him. So those of you who haven't invested in yourself, who haven't hired the mentor, hired the employees, haven't quit the job, you are not operating in faith. You're operating in fear. And God, it's impossible to please him. He is not pleased. He is not pleased. So the work that I'm doing today, the way I'm shaking the planet today, is about helping high achieving entrepreneurs get into spiritual alignment so that they can build businesses that serve them to multiple 6 and 7 figures in a year or less. That's who I am. That's what I'm doing. And if you're excited about that, if you have been praying and looking for someone to guide you spiritually and professionally so that you can really shake the planet, then I would love to talk to you. And let me talk to you quickly about the ways that I have for you to work with me before the year is out. So November 1st through the 3rd, I'm hosting, for the last time ever, Profit from Live Events. So my event manager, Tiffany Chalk of Tiffany Chalk Events, asked me a few years ago to put together a live event to teach people how to profit from their live events, because we've been extremely successful. We, on average, will close at a minimum 6 figures, but up to 7 figures from our 3-day live events. My live event that I did in May of this year, we closed $400,000 in May with 52 people in the room, 30 of them that were eligible to invest. So I know a little thing, and I've closed over $1 million. I've closed the highest amount I've ever closed in 3 days so far is $1.8 million in 3 days. So for the very last time, I'm hosting this live event here in Newark, Delaware. If you hold live events, or live events is part of your strategic plan for the new year, I would highly recommend that you go and check it out. You can go to incrediblefactorevents.com and put it in the chat for you. Incrediblefactorevents.com. Incrediblefactorevents.com. I will highly recommend you check it out. That's one way you can work with me before the year is out. The second way, we're still firming up the details, but in December, the projected date is December 11th, 12/11. I'm going to be holding a 1-day event in the Washington, D.C. area called Scale Up. It's going to be an intensive to finalize your strategic plan for 2019 to position your business for scale. Now, you can scale at every level. So regardless of where you are, Scale Up might be right for you. So if you want to learn about Scale Up, once we make everything available, we're going to be releasing the information later this month. If you want to learn about Scale Up so that you can join us in the DC area on December 11th, it's a Tuesday, then make sure that you reach out to me so that we can make sure we get you the details when the details come. So those are the 2 ways you can work with me before the year is out. And know that if you do choose to work with me, you're going to have a spiritual encounter. Like, I'm going to talk to you about spiritual alignment principles, how to get into alignment with God so that your business can explode. In my opinion, businesses with a spiritual foundation go farther faster. And I'm gonna unlock the vault and allow you to see what has happened for me and how, because God is no respecter of persons, he can also make it happen for you. But it's about making the comeback, right? The comeback forever. Comebacks only. #comebacks only. It's about shaking the planet. It's about not being a fad, but instead being a phenomenon. And if you can get excited about that, please share this. Share this. Share this to your page. Make sure you leave me a comment, live or in the replay. Leave me a comment. Thank you for everyone who's made a comment on this. Thank you for everyone who shared it. I so love you. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much for helping me to get this word out into the world, for helping entrepreneurs and business owners understand how spiritual principles will explode their businesses and allow them to take their rightful place in the land of profitability so that they can become a profitpreneur. Forget where I heard that the first time, but I love it, right? Because it is truly about shaking the planet. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me, for being with me. Share this to your page. Again, if you catch this in the replay. Love you guys. See you next time. Be better, be stronger, more than anything. Be incredible. See yourself the way God sees you. Surrender and operate only in faith. Kick fear to the curb. It's not real anyway. Just kick it to the curb. God's got your back. God's got your back. God's got your back. Love you guys. Mwah. See you next time. Take care.